On the debate tonight, 4 days since Kolkata's Majerhat bridge collapsed, Mirror now has accessed incriminating details that clearly show that the government was warned.
Mirror now has accessed an exclusive letter that was sent by the Indian Railways to the Kolkata Metropolitan Development Authority, stating that there are certain problems that are there with the Majerhat bridge which needs to be addressed immediately.
Whoever is the local authority, it is their portion. So far the portion collapsed, doesn't belong to the railways.
A copy of the letter, which is with Mirror now, clearly shows that it was sent to the state, yet the Chief Minister chose to pass the buck.
It is not within our hands. It is when the Congress government was there, that time this bridge was built up. It is not within our hands. We have not done anything wrong.
And even before the state could mourn for the 3 people who were killed in the collapse, came news of another bridge collapse in West Bengal, Siliguri. Mirror now asks, when will Mamata's government stop petty politics over lives and get to work? Let's debate.
Well, here's the truth now, and it's very obvious. According to the information our reporter has found on the ground, and it didn't take him too long, the railways had actually written to the state government, or written to the Kolkata Development Authority that reports to the state government, saying that there are some serious problems with this bridge. This bridge needs to be looked at, it needs to be fixed, and this was over a month before the collapse. Obviously, this letter was completely ignored. And now we have the state government blaming the railways, blaming previous governments, blaming the metro construction, blaming encroachment that's happening under the bridge when the state government didn't do the basic thing, which is check the bridge and fix it. Why won't the Mamata Banerjee state government take responsibility for what it has done? Why is it they're passing the buck? And this is why we need to answer this question. It's about every one of us who lives in a city. If the state government doesn't take responsibility, it is never going to start an investigation. If it doesn't start an investigation, the people who actually committed this crime will never see the inside of a jail cell. As a result, because the state government wants to protect its reputation, it will make sure that the babus responsible for the loss of lives completely get off scot-free. Joining me on the show, Somnath Singh Roy, TMC supporter, S.R. Thakur, retired railway official. We have Manishankar Chatterjee, who is also a TMC supporter. Shikha Mukherjee is a senior journalist from Kolkata. Chandrasekhar Prabhu is an urban planner, and Bhaskar Ghosh is the leader with the BJP. I welcome you to this conversation. But before we start, I want to play this out for you. These are clips of a press conference held by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee yesterday, where she talks about everything except her own responsibility, blaming previous governments, blaming metro construction, blaming the people who live under the bridge. Take a look.
It is not within our hands. It is when the Congress government was there, that time this bridge was built up. It is not within our hands. We have not done anything wrong.
We have not done anything wrong. So then whose fault is it? Because from what we have found, from the letters we have found, it is the responsibility of the state government. And how can the state government possibly get away with the fact by saying that this bridge was built 40 years ago by somebody else? It's not our responsibility. The entire state was built by somebody else. So what is your responsibility then? And I want to start with our representatives who support the TMC. Mr. Roy, I'm going to start with you. Mr. Somnath Singh Roy. The full state of Bengal was built by somebody else. So is it true that the state government has no responsibility over any of it right now? What sort of an excuse is that?
देश में 29 स्टेट है और 29 स्टेट में 29 चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं 29 लेकिन आप देखिए हर
Well, we seems to obviously have something wrong with the audio with that guest, but we'll come back to him. Mr. Manishankar Chatterjee, can you hear me loud and clear? My question then is to you. What is the responsibility of the state government in that case if it takes no responsibility for what has already been built?
first of all, you see that that in the politics, each and every issues politicalized by the political party for taking mileage. Now is a fashion that when the allegation against somebody, they give an example the other party. I am not on that point. I am not giving any example that the Congress party or CPM party the same thing happened in the earlier. I am not on that point. Responsibility means what is the democracy? Democracy is by the people, for the people, of the people. If there is a responsibility in the public also responsible for this, because knowing fully well about the situation of the bridge, we are also habituated to use the same, because today, the Mamata Banerjee, after that incident, Milord discussion in the cabinet, and pointed out that 20 or 21 bridge in the same footing and life already been expired. If I ask to the person who was sitting in the under the roof of the bridge, he will not live shifted to the another place. That is a fashion, and the same thing happened in the Delhi at the time of Commonwealth Games. If the responsibility is the government responsible, then why the BJP party not self-responsible their party? Because same thing happened in the other state also.
No, okay, so hang on. All right, hang on. I'm asking you about your state. I'm asking you about this particular bridge. We can talk about other states. We can talk about other states when those bridges collapse. Okay. You've given me a lesson in democracy, for the people, by the people. You've given me a lesson in what happens in other states and how many chief ministers there are in the country. But listen to this. This was a letter written by the Eastern Railways to the Kolkata Metro Development Authority on the 27th of July about this particular bridge. And it says, and I quote, "The condition of the RCC beam which supports the utility services is not in good condition and requires suitable replacement in a programmed manner at the earliest. You are requested for your preparedness of shifting utilities at your end as well as the work that will be need to carried out."
Madam,
you don't even want to listen. Carried out in traffic and power block of the railway.
Discover today,
I'm sorry, what? My question is, why was this letter ignored, and why weren't these repairs carried out? Mr. Manishankar Chatterjee, why was this letter ignored and why weren't the repairs carried out?
Madam, see that today if I discover regarding the condition of the bridge, whatever the person inform the government regarding the condition of the bridge, but it is possible to immediate to repair the long bridge.
So it is possible to close the bridge
because there is a you have any idea? You are sitting in Delhi, Bombay or Delhi. You have any idea that for repairing one bridge how much time is required? So then and there the people, if the Mamata government said not to
hang on, Mr. Manishankar Chatterjee, do not serve me with your condescension. You could have closed the bridge and made sure that there were no citizens on it. You would have made sure that thoroughfare on that bridge did not happen anymore if you felt that it was a risk.
Government, if I came to know that immediately after coming to know about the condition of the bridge, the government authority already taken the measure, but it will take time. In the meantime,
so in the meantime, people have died.
What can I do?
And what can you do? I'll tell you what you can do. I'll tell you what you can do. You can resign. What the state government of Bengal needs to do is resign. Hand in your resignations and leave the state and leave the office because you're not able to do your job. What can I do? It is not my fault. I didn't see this coming. I couldn't stop it. None of these answers are good enough answers. What can I do is not a proper answer to give after citizens have died. And we have evidence of the fact that you knew this bridge was not fit for use.
Without incident requirement. Without incident not create any requirement, without incident not to create any requirement, you do not know then in future what requirement is required. That today by sitting in this chair you cannot say that what requirement is required in future.
I'll tell you what requirement is required. If you keep up this way, you will need more coffins and more graveyards in the state of Bengal because you obviously don't seem to care about your citizens at all. Now, do not, like I said, do not be condescending about the way I do my job, because at least I'm doing my job, which is more than can be said for the West Bengal government at this point.
I'm not
Shikha
defending.
Mukherjee.
I'm not.
Shikha Mukherjee.
No.
We have two
I'm not
letters here.
defending. I'm not supporting to the Mamata Banerjee. But last of all, I say that
We have two letters
First of all, I
Shikha
say
Mukherjee.
that the Chief Minister of the West Bengal is a live Chief Minister. You see the live Chief Minister in your life. You see, Chief Minister is the West Bengal is a live Chief Minister. Always trying to develop the state. Always think about the people. That's why the people of the West Bengal very much love her.
What about the three people? Okay, what about Mr. Manishankar Chatterjee?
I try to understand.
Tell me this. What about the three people who have died in this bridge collapse and their family members? Do they still love her?
No. There are after inquiry, after completed the investigation, if it is found that the state government only responsible for it, but there is nothing to do. We go to the court and two public litigation already filed by the advocate. There is going on, but until or unless it is found that the state government is responsible, how to ascertain that what measure taken by the life? First of all, see, investigation not complete. You see, the immediately after incident, without rescue, the BJP tried to politicalize the situation. And see that earlier, day before yesterday or on that day, that something like that.
You are misleading. Your Chief Minister
That's enough of that. That's enough of that. I'm going to now open this up to my panel. Can we mute the politicians, please? Shikha Mukherjee is a senior journalist in the city of Kolkata. Gentlemen,
without rescue the suffering people who are the died, the BJP झंडा गाड़ दिया उधर, देखा था हम politics कर रहा है. लोकेट चटर्जी चला गया. Went there. What is the requirement of Lokesh Chatterjee? He given a political speech in front of the public.
I don't care about the politics. I want to be able to hear Shikha Mukherjee, please. Ms. Mukherjee, thank you for joining us. We have two letters that our very young reporter Ranadeep has picked up for us from Kolkata. The first letter is dated the 27th of July, over a month before the bridge collapsed, and I read it out. It's from it's from the chief engineer for the chief bridge engineer, and it's being written from the railways, the Eastern Railways, to the KDMC, the Kolkata Development Authority, saying very clearly this bridge is in desperate need of work and it's in desperate need of fixing. Obviously, this letter was ignored. The second letter that we have found is the one that the Chief Minister has written herself. Mamata Banerjee wrote a letter on the 5th of July instructing the PWD department to inspect all its bridges immediately and find out if the bridges are in working condition. Now, this letter was forwarded to engineers on the 5th of July. Nothing happened after that. So, obviously, the work was not done. And it's important for the state government to acknowledge that the work was not done. Shikha Mukherjee.
Well, you know, there are several issues here. One is that clearly the government of West Bengal knows very well, after 2015 in particular, when the Vivekananda Bridge in the heart of Kolkata collapsed, killing 27 people, that there are at least 60 odd bridges in the city and in the state which are in a state of are very stressed and in need of being replaced. Majerhat Bridge is just one of those, and the fact is that the 5th July, 27th July, what the argument seems to be is that till the bridge collapses, we will do nothing about it. Till there is a disaster, we cannot step in and do something to protect people's lives. Prevention is not a problem of governance. Prevention is not a responsibility of governors. Yet, in the wake of the Majerhat Bridge collapse and now the Pashidawa Bridge, which is a small one, and it was under construction, well, there was a truck going over it. The fact that the Chief Minister has announced the closure of certain bridges. These bridges are actually on the lifelines that connect the city with its hinterland. the city with very important parts of the city's geography as well. The fact that these bridges have now been shut down to a certain kind of traffic, where 10-wheeler, 12-wheeler, 20-wheeler trucks have been barred on these bridges, is an indication that the government was very well aware of the problems with these bridges. It is only as a knee-jerk reaction to the emerging situation and the voicing of discontent that the government is doing what it could have done to protect the lives of people on that Majerhat bridge and the people living underneath. As well as they could have done exactly the same thing with the Vivekananda Bridge flyover. There was ample
So do you believe, Shikha Mukherjee, that the West Bengal government here is guilty of negligence, which led in the very least to the death of 3 people?
Well, I don't know whether it's guilty, but certainly one can come to a conclusion that the government was willfully neglectful.
Willfully neglectful. SS Thakur is
because if today these bridges have been shut to certain kinds of traffic, if there is a letter of July 5th and the PWD has admitted that there are problems with bridges in the state as well as in the city, there is no way in which the state can actually wash its hands off.
Okay, all right. SS Thakur is
the crime.
Yes, SS Thakur is a retired railway official. Mr. Thakur, he'll help us understand, if you can, what this letter actually means. When the railway says that the bridge is not in good condition and requires suitable replacement in a program manner at the earliest, what does that mean? And was that perhaps a red flag to the state government that this needs fixing immediately?
I will like to go back in time. You know that this bridge is in distressed condition was known to state government much earlier than the railways letter. If you investigate somewhere, you will find that 6 tenders were invited, one after another, to repair this bridge in the current year itself. That means in 2018. That means adequate input was available even before the railways letter that this bridge is distressed condition. The last tender was not finalized because of a dispute between the accounts department and the transport department. This clearly shows that to the bureaucrats, the importance of life was much less than the wranglings. So that the input was not available is not correct. What was required? Immediate action. And if you see it further, the money required was only a paltry sum of 2 crores. So this is absolutely ridiculous that for this amount of money, the repair works was not done, and the wrangling was going on between accounts department and other departments. So why should they wait for a railways letter? They were knowing it that the bridge is in distressed condition, and the approach road to the bridge, which has collapsed, was known to be a weak point. So my simple point is that once you know it, why wait for somebody's letter or wait for some disaster before action is taken? Yes. Secondly, I want to add one point that as per the newspaper reports, a probe has been ordered in this disaster. And that probe is to be headed by the Chief Secretary along with most of the members are bureaucrats, serving bureaucrats and the police officers. There is no dearth of structural engineers in India. There is no dearth of universities in India who specializes in bridge works. So why don't we have a committee of them so that the correct responsibility is fixed? And correct responsibility should be divided into 3 parts. after all, state government is an abstract sort of thing. So, responsibility is to be fixed for the officials who are directly responsible for negligence, then the officers who have indirectly responsible for negligence, and third, the officers who have omitted to do their duties. They also should be held responsible. And this can be done only by a proper probe by the experts, not by the bureaucrats. Being a bureaucrat myself, I am sorry to say that serving bureaucrats have a tendency to listen to the political voices. So in this sort of situation, the best thing will be to employ the experts to fix responsibilities so that it does not happen again. It is a tragedy which could have probably been avoided, and there are certain tragedies which are going to happen if no action is taken today.
Yes.
So I hope some action will be initiated immediately.
All right, we also have Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh, who is the leader of the BJP. Mr. Ghosh, go ahead. Of course, the members of the TMC wanted to remind us of other bridges in other cities. But in this particular case, there is those who are responsible who should be charged with dereliction, criminal dereliction of duty, which has caused the death of citizens, of innocent citizens.
Absolutely. I believe that this is not only the collapse of the bridge, this is collapse of the government. And today what government is trying to do is a prevaricating, giving false information, suppression of facts. As Mr. Thakur rightly said, that this shows the intention of the government to have a committee which is devoid of any structural engineers. We have IIT Kharagpur, we have Shivpur Engineering College, and nobody is invited to have any kind of participation. That means the government only job is to hush up the facts and trying to show that government is a rescue government, it is not a preventive government. I tell you couple of incidents. Today the bridge needs, as I understood from experts, about 2.76 crores to 3 crores of rupees. Meager amount of money is required. This government is spending hundreds of crores on a festival. They are having festivals after festivals and hundreds of crores being spent, and they cannot spend on human lives even 3 crore rupees. This shows it's a collapse of the government. Mr. Yes, I am a technical guy. This is called mid-span failure. And no, doesn't matter. Gentlemen,
please don't talk at the same time.
Party, but my background is a technical background. This exactly a mid-span failure where doesn't matter for you. But let us restrict to the point that this government is what is doing. They are prevaricating in terms of. They are in terms of, as they are prevaricating regarding Sharda, Narda and all issues, they are also prevaricating here. One side, your CM.
Can we just cut the mic for Mr. Chatterjee, please? Mr. Chatterjee, I'm going to ask you politely not to interrupt when someone is speaking and not to speak over another panelist.
Yeah, I'm making my point, sir.
Mr. Ghosh, go ahead.
I'm making my points, madam. I am making my points that today this government is talking about rescue. Today's government is not about prevention. You see the bridge which has been rightly told by Madam Mukherjee, Shikha Mukherjee, that it is another collapse of bridge. So a bridge could be collapsed, but the question is that why it is collapsing? Because of the lack of the governance, lack of supervision and the lack of coordinations, as well as even after these incidents, there is from all segments, they are trying to hush up the facts. Now, I being a common citizen of this state, I just want to ask you why this blame game is happening. There was a tender which was never fructified because of the syndication. There is a difference of opinion between the two parts of the governments, and because of lack of communication or or miscommunication, this human lives which has been sacrificed will never come back. And now this government has to answer whether they want festive 100 crores or they want a repair of bridge in couple of crores.
Okay, Mr. Ghosh. Now we have Manishankar Chatterjee and Somnath Singha Roy, both of which support the TMC government. Now I want to play out for you. These are bites from various points of conversation that the Chief Minister has had with the media. Now this is what she said on the 4th of September when the bridge had collapsed. This is what she had said. Play that out, please.
Bridge हमारा कंट्री में बहुत सारे हैं. कुछ दिन पहले भी ऐसा ब्रिज महाराष्ट्र में भी हुआ और बनारस में भी हुआ.
So what she said was there are many bridges in India. Similar incidents have happened in Varanasi and in Maharashtra as well. Now we call this whataboutery. People have died in my state, bridges have fallen in my state, but what about what happened in Maharashtra and Varanasi? Now just because bridges are falling in Maharashtra and Varanasi doesn't make the lives of the people of Bengal any less valuable. Now on the 6th of September, this is what the Chief Minister said.
আমাদের যে চিফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার পিডব্লিউডি তিনি একটা প্রাইমারি একটা রিপোর্টও দিয়েছেন ওনারা প্রাইমারি যে এনকোয়ারি করেছেন তাতে কিন্তু কমিটির সামনে তারা একটা রিপোর্ট দিয়েছেন সেটা হচ্ছে মেট্রো রেলের যে কাজ হচ্ছে সেই কাজের জন্য অনেকটা প্রবলেম কিন্তু এই ব্রিজের হয়েছে
The chief engineer of the PWD has submitted a primary report, and according to the primary report, the bridge was affected due to ongoing metro railways. Now, let me point out something else. The Metro Railways has put out a press release saying that the bridge collapse had no relation whatsoever with the metro construction, with this mid-span failure of the RCC grid of the bridge. We have the railways pointing out that the RCC grid needed to be replaced. So obviously here grasping at straws, and then finally, and my favorite bite. Can we play this out please, the last one?
It is not within our hands. It is when the Congress government was there, that time this bridge was built up. It is not within our hands. We have not done anything wrong.
Now, I will allow Mr. Roy or Mr. Chatterjee, either one of you who wants to address what is being said, the buck that is being passed, the responsibility that is completely being shirked here in the state of West Bengal. So, tell me something. All of the wonderful buildings in the city of Kolkata that were built during the British, not your responsibility because you didn't build it. Everything else that was built since then, since the current government took over, not your responsibility because you didn't build it. So, what is your responsibility? Please tell me. Mr. Chatterjee, what is the responsibility of the West Bengal state government? What will you take responsibility for?
First of all, you see, after the incident, the police suo lodged a case, initiated a specific case. So the political person as well as the railway authority, their views, political speech also there, and express their views that what is happening and what may happen. But they are not an expert. But relying upon the speech of the political person, you cannot ascertain and cannot establish that who is the responsible person.
Who is this political person you are referring to? I was relying on the speech of the Chief Minister of the state. Are you telling me that I should not take the Chief Minister's statement seriously? Are you saying the Chief Minister was making a statement without getting all of our facts in place?
Chief Minister is not above the law. Chief Minister, I am not relying the speech of the Chief Minister.
Who are you relying? So hang on. So you have up till now, Mr. Mukherjee, you have said that I don't know how to do my job. You said Ms. Mukherjee doesn't know how to do her job. You said that Mr. Ghosh of the BJP doesn't know what he's talking about. Now you're saying the Chief Minister doesn't know what she's talking about. Is there any voice that you do trust in the state of Bengal?
Investigation authority will investigate.
What investigation authority? If the Chief Minister is saying that we did nothing wrong, who's going to investigate? Who's going to investigate? She's the boss. If she says I've done nothing wrong, we've done nothing wrong, then who's going to investigate?
Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister express her views, but not as an expert. He says that this
no, I'm sorry. The Chief Minister of a state is the expert, and that is the official voice that we take seriously. You can't turn around and say the Chief Minister is not an expert. The Chief Minister has advisors who will give her advice. The Chief Minister has experts to consult with, and when she holds a press conference, we take that press conference very seriously given the position she holds. So I don't understand why you're telling me not to take the Chief Minister's statement seriously and that she's not an expert. So if you believe that your Chief Minister doesn't know what she's doing, I'm sorry, that's your personal opinion. But on this channel, we take the Chief Minister's opinion very, very seriously. Now, here is the Chief Minister saying that the metro got it wrong. Here is the Chief Minister blaming it on the Congress that hasn't been in power in West Bengal for decades. So, please tell me, are the people of Bengal to go back to the Congress party for help? Is that what you're asking them to do?
After investigation, After investigation, it may be revealed that it was a duty of the earlier government. It may be revealed. That's why the Chief Minister expressed.
How could it have been the duty of the earlier government?
After properly investigated by the appropriate authority.
Let me go across to Chandrasekhar Prabhu. Okay, so
yes,
let me just explain this. This is now becoming comical. Mr. Chatterjee wants us to believe that an investigation could reveal that it was the duty of the previous government. Mr. Chatterjee, you have a bridge. You are responsible for that bridge. You are responsible for looking after that bridge. There is no situation in the world where the previous government can come in and fix that bridge. Mr. Prabhu, Mr. Chandrasekhar Prabhu, do you think that this is a possibility that an investigation may reveal that it was the previous government's responsibility to fix this bridge?
No way, no way. You know, I had heard about Bengal theatre, and I had heard about Rabindranath Tagore's theatre and other things. But this, here I am being exposed to a comedy theatre, you know, because everyone seems to be making serious jokes out here, because none of them know what they are saying. This is ridiculous. See, a bridge is built by whoever it is built. And when it is built, it is not built with faults. Over a period of years, due to wear and tear, the bridge, some items in the bridge takes its toll. There is the local body which keeps an eye, and every 2 years the bridge has to be inspected. And at the end of 2 years, the inspection report says what needs to be done short term, middle term and long term. The short term things are done, and if they are done regularly, then nothing can happen to the bridge like what happened in these collapses. It means that the authority which was meant to take care of the maintenance of the bridge has failed in its effort to take care of the maintenance. No one is challenging the design of the bridge when it is built. No one is challenging, there has not been an act of God or an earthquake which has disturbed the bridge. A bridge once done is in a stable condition, putting it technically. If there is anything external which makes it unstable, then that external force has to be understood and the stability has to be restored. Otherwise, over a period of years, due to wear and tear and also due to excessive use, the bridge becomes older and it gets worn out, and some parts of the bridge need to be either repaired or replaced. And this process continues. Bridges continue for hundreds of years, and every 2 years the process of assessing the bridge and doing minor repairs, middle term repairs.
Mr. Prabhu, one of the articles from the Telegraph in Calcutta has been quoted saying that while the bridge was established that the bridge could not take any load, what the government kept doing, and the last time they did this was when the Chief Minister was going to take that bridge, they just kept adding layers and layers of bitumen to it, adding more load every time instead of stripping the layer that was already there. So they actually made it worse instead of making it better.
Precisely. Yes, any load, whenever a bridge becomes old, the age-old wisdom says that you relieve it of extra loads, not further reload it. And here, from what I have read about it and what I understand in the past few hours, which I have been understanding, that the beam, if there was a problem in the beam, and in the month of July it was told that there was a problem in the beam, immediately the beam could have been shored. There is a system of shoring up the beam so that the beam which is really bad would not have collapsed. And that could have been easily done, and it doesn't require 2 months for that. It can be done in a matter of 24 hours, 48 hours. The Indian Army keeps on repairing bridges like this on a war footing on a regular basis in Arunachal and in other places
absolutely.
near the border. So
and Mr. Chandrasekhar
really
Prabhu, just forgive me for interrupting you. Mr. Prabhu is an expert in the matter. Mr. S.R. Thakur is an expert in the matter. I wonder now if Mr. Chatterjee, Mr. Roy will take their words with Mr. Roy. Now we have the experts tell us whose fault it was. Why is it that the West Bengal government is refusing to take responsibility?
मैडम मैंने सोचा था मैं आज सिर्फ डिबेट सुनने के लिए बैठा हूं यहाँ पर डिबेट में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए चांस मिलेगा पहली बार आप हमको क्वेश्चन किया इसके बाद मेरा दिमाग में आया मैं सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूं मैडम मणिशंकर जब बात कर रहा था तब आपने बताया था कि ये गवर्नमेंट को रिजाइन करना चाहिए मैडम इट इज एक्सीडेंट डिमोनिटाइजेशन का नाम पे जब 125 आदमी मरा था आप इसको रिजाइन करने के लिए टीवी चैनल में चिल्लाया था मैडम जब नहीं दैट वाज नॉट ए एक्सीडेंट है वो जानबूझकर किया गया था 125 आदमी का डेथ हो गया था
I have done enough shouting Mr. Roy answer the question I have asked you
मैडम
will you allow me to answer will you allow me to answer
बताया जब मैं बोलना चालू करूंगा आप उसका अंदर नहीं बात कर सकते मैडम अगर मैं चुप कर जाता हूं चलिए 50 मिनट में बैठा हूं आउट बैठने के लिए मैं तैयार हूं लेकिन मेरा टाइम हमको देना पड़ेगा आपको मैं सिर्फ एक बात कहना चाहता हूं मैडम आप रिजाइन करने का बात कर रहे हैं आप बताइए किसान हर रोज सुसाइड कर रहा है रास्ते पे उतार रहा है हर रोज पेट्रोल डीजल का भाव बढ़ रहा है उसके लिए किसको रिजाइन करने के लिए बोल रहा है एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ उसका अगेंस्ट जो भी कार्रवाई है वो कर रहा है ममता बनर्जी ने बोला है कड़ा पनिशमेंट मिलेगा फिर भी उसको लेकर ममता बनर्जी को सिर्फ नीचा दिखाने के लिए काली लगाने के लिए चैनल में बैठे बैठे ममता बनर्जी को गाली देना चालू कर दिया कुछ आदमी ने लेकिन जिसके लिए पूरा देश खत्म हो रहा है जिसके लिए ये पेट्रोल और डीजल के लिए आम आदमी का परेशानी बढ़ रहा है
Mr. Roy, then I have to breach the law, the regulation of this debate. आप किसके बात कर रहे हैं
आप लोग बोल रहे हैं
आपका सीएम तीन किस्म का स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं पहले बोल रहे हैं कि हम जो इसके लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल है वो पनिशमेंट मिलेगा उसके बाद बोल रहे हैं कि हम लोग रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं है और उसके बाद बोल रहे हैं कि मेट्रो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है आप पहले अपना सीएम को बताइए कि सीएम का स्टेटमेंट क्या है
Somehow every time I ask a politician a question I'm instantly sorry. So here's the thing. On Mirror Now, we have no friends in any political parties. All political parties think we're targeting them. When there are potholes in Bangalore and people happen to die, we will pull up the government of Bangalore. When the Delhi government doesn't do enough to reduce pollution, we will pull up the government in Delhi and we will ask them questions. When the government of Maharashtra doesn't do its job, we will question that government. When the government of Kerala doesn't do its job, we will question that government. When the government of Chennai and Tamil Nadu doesn't do its job, we will question that government. And now it is the turn of Bengal. So you can turn around and do this, and it's a carefully crafted art. I will ask you about a bridge, you tell me about demonetization. Ask me if I asked questions about demonetization, I did. And I do not owe any explanation to the politicians of Bengal. I owe an explanation to the citizens of India. Today we are talking about a bridge that collapsed. A bridge that the state government was aware was weak and not fit for use. A bridge that the state government knew was its responsibility. A bridge that the state government knew how to fix, had the money to fix it, had the ability to fix it, and in the very least they could have just closed it off. If they had no intention to fix it at all, just close it and make sure nobody gets on that bridge so nobody dies. The government did nothing of the sort and is today sitting around blaming a government from 50 years ago, saying that government built this bridge, so we have no responsibility over it. So then shall we not use the Indian Railways because it was built by the British? Should we not use anything that was built by a previous government? That is how a government works. You inherit infrastructure from the previous government. And so far, we haven't heard a single decent answer from any representative of the TMC. All the state government needed to have done was simply this and said, yes, this bridge is our responsibility. Yes, there were problems. Yes, there was a problem with duty here, and we will find out who that person is. Now, as soon as the state government, led by the chief minister, turns around and says, none of this was our responsibility, you know there will not be an investigation. You know this government is going to put its own reputation before justice. Already we have someone on the panel who's turning around and saying, what if the investigation shows it was the responsibility of a previous government? It can never ever be the responsibility of a previous government. Because previous governments cannot fix bridges. Only current governments can fix bridges. And Shikha Mukherjee, unfortunately, I know this is what journalists have to deal with in West Bengal all the time. Where if you ask a question, they just turn around and yell, saying you are politically motivated, you are just doing this to make us look bad. But this is the job of a journalist. Shikha Mukherjee.
Well, yes, I mean, journalists have been at the receiving end of various kinds of abuse, intimidation, verbal violence from all sections of the ruling party. And this starts way back in 2009, 2010. You know, if you speak against us, you are the enemy. You are targeted. This has been happening for too long. We have grown inured to it. We've also become, in a certain sense, less courageous. But at the same time, it does not mean that one can put up with a government which says that a previous government is responsible for what happened, and they are not responsible, but tacitly admits that there is a responsibility by shutting off certain kinds of traffic over 20 bridges today. In other words, the government is admitting tacitly that it knew about the 20 other bridges, and today it has responded because the reaction in the public is becoming stronger and stronger to the problem, and it is responding to the public outcry over bridges and the neglect and the callousness, etc., etc. Therefore, it is very easy for other people to shout, but as journalists, we have to look at the facts. From 2015, the government knew about the condition of its bridges. I mean, forget about what previous governments said, did not do, acts of omission or commission. The fact is that in 2015, after the Vivekananda Bridge collapse, they looked at the condition of bridges in the state. 231 bridges were described as unsafe, of which 66 needed to be replaced. The fact that 20 have been shut down or closed partially for heavy motor vehicles is an indication that the government was fully aware of what was going on. It just did not use its political will and its sense of responsibility as the government to do anything about it. In other words,
yes,
till disaster happens, the government will not intervene to prevent a disaster from happening. This is not an acceptable way of governance. As journalists, we just have to call out.
I have one question. To Mr. Prabhu. Please allow me to say something.
Go ahead, Mr. Mukherjee.
Allow me.
Go ahead, Mr. Chatterjee.
I have one question.
You ask questions today. What is your question?
I have one question to Mr. Prabhu to please guide us. What can I do in future? Because of that, the madam asked me that some people died due to collapse of bridge. It is a very unfortunate thing. And thereafter, the Honorable Chief Minister pointed out that 20 bridge, the same condition. Without knowing fully well about the condition, day by day, I am and the other person, we use the said bridge. I do not know we should use and should not use that bridge, but came to know from the different media about the condition of the bridge is very dangerous.
What's your question, Mr. Chatterjee?
I am putting in a question, give a guidelines. It is our duty to use the bridge. or restrain the people not to use the bridge. But under compelling circumstances, we are using the bridge, knowing fully well that the bridge's condition is very bad. That then it may be collapse in future. In that case, same thing will be happen, and you say
so what is your
that
question?
due to death of the people who is responsible. But who will responsible? That my question, that knowing fully well about the bad condition of the bridge, we should use and should not use the bridge. What is our duty? What is our responsibility?
How dare you?
Because media also pointed out that such and such bridge condition is a very
how
bad.
Dare you? Mr. Prabhu, do you want to dignify that question with a response? He is aiming to move the blame to the citizens, saying why would you use a bridge that is damaged? That is his question.
Not at all.
Mr. Prabhu.
So then I am want to saying that knowing full well the people using the bridge condition is not a good. That is a question.
I'm sorry, Mr. Prabhu. In all fairness, with my hand on my heart, I am not going to allow that question to be answered.
Responsibility to inspect the bridge every year and submit a report to the people. If it is dangerous, then it should not be used. They should stop the bridge from being used by heavy vehicles first. The first stage is heavy vehicles. Second stage is all vehicles, pedestrians may go, and the last stage, of course, if it is really that dangerous, then even the pedestrians should not be allowed. Leave that to the experts. Every 1 year or every 6 months, let there be an inspection done. Let the experts sit together and give a proper report. Go by that report. That's it. Whatever that report says, start immediately and take action. If you take action, nothing will happen. I have seen in Europe and even in Eastern Europe, where the countries are much poorer than India and the bridges are 150, 200 years old. Even then, they are maintained well because they are inspected every 6 months, and every 6 months repairs is taken.
Not possible to establish. Each and every person will support your comment because you are on the side of idealism. But seeing the real situation, how much money is required for repairing
Mr. Chatterjee, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because what you're saying is completely unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I want to put on the screen the photograph of the person who died. Of the people who died, 3 people died and several were injured. There you have it. He was trapped in the rubble for days. And here we have the state government saying things like, isn't it the responsibility of the citizens not to go on the bridge if the bridge is weak? Isn't it the responsibility of the citizens? You're talking about an ideal world. We want to blame the person who actually built this bridge 54 years ago. What is wrong with this state government? What is wrong with you? All bridges, and let me say this slowly so you can understand it. All bridges in the state of West Bengal are the responsibility of the government of West Bengal. It is your responsibility, irrespective of who built that bridge, to maintain it and make sure that it can be used. If you feel that the person who built that bridge did a bad job and it shouldn't be used right now, close the bridge. That is also your responsibility. You cannot possibly turn around and say people should stop using this bridge because obviously when you look at it, it's not safe. That's a recipe for disaster. And if you're going to blame us for being idealistic, you must blame yourself for making idealistic promises when you asked to be voted into government and you promised change. You promised change. You promised a different West Bengal. Where is it? Where is that different West Bengal? Why is it that bridges and roads are not being fixed? Why is it that citizens are still being put at risk? Even today one bridge collapsed in Darjeeling. Who is going to take accountability? And why is it that every politician right now is only concerned about their own reputation? As soon as you ask a question, you are politically motivated. As soon as you ask a question, you're doing it to hurt my reputation. No, we're doing it for accountability, because for as long as Babus continue to sacrifice lives for the corruption and the negligence, it will continue to happen. enough of this. The Bengal government must, at this point, file cases of criminal negligence and investigate cases of culpable homicide and criminal negligence, because that is the only way they will get between the truth. If they don't do so, then we know for sure that the Bengal government is interested at this point in hiding behind politics, hiding behind whataboutery, and making sure that we never find out the truth, so they never have to deal with the consequences. We're going to be watching this case very, very closely, because tomorrow, when we get up and go to work, each of us is going to take a bridge. Do you know if that bridge is safe? And if we don't demand accountability for the citizens of Kolkata, tomorrow it could be you and me. Thanks for watching.